This is the second tutorial in this sequence where we're going to start looking at the underpainting. So we've done the underdrawing now, and you can see that we've got the basic outline of the face. We've got some contours kind of indicated in there, and now we're going to go in with the underpainting. I have some burnt sienna, which is here, and I have also some matte medium, which looks white but will dry transparent, and is just going to help us create a transparent paint, so that I can start to go in now. And I want to look at my visual reference material and indicate where there are areas of light and shade. And this is kind of like squinting your eyes and just getting a general kind of blocked in areas. We're not going into massive detail right now. We just want to know that like kind of everything on this side of the face, I can start kind of blocking in with the burnt sienna. And because we're not using any white in this, even though this looks white, it is a transparent medium, therefore the paint has no opacity, and we can still see the pencil lines underneath it. So I'm kind of brushing in all of the areas where there is shadow, trying to keep the paint fairly kind of smooth. Just keep observing, going back and forth between the paint and the painting and the image. I want to remove that water. I want to kind of avoid using any water at all. We're going to just use the matte medium in order to make the paint slightly kind of translucent and lighter. Just keep working the paint to make it that little bit kind of smoother. Come in a little bit darker with their hair, the ear on this side. So what I'm doing right now is to kind of give myself a tonal a monochromatic tonal painting of the main kind of areas of light and dark on the painting. So whenever the paint starts to get a little bit resistant, a little bit dry on the canvas, then just work a bit of matte medium into it. Remember that you load the brush with paint on both sides, so you can rotate the brush just to kind of get more paint to kind of load onto it. Now this is kind of like drafting the painting so that you can start to get a feel for the areas of light and shade, being a little bit more kind of careful on this side where the where the where there's more highlight. Now I'm going to use quite a a lot of matte medium right now. Just work a little bit of the paint off the brush, just to get a slightly kind of more transparent tone, because there are some flesh tones in here where I can kind of indicate some of the areas of like indicate where the highlights are by going in with just a really light kind of transparent paint. Okay, now I'm not going to go into the background or the shirt right now, because that's going to be kind of blocked in later with a darker color. So I'm going in now with a little bit more of the burnt sienna to start to indicate some of the darker shadows that are in here. So you can see that like we did a general kind of mid-tone, which was kind of a mix between the burnt sienna and the matte medium, and then I went in with the other kind of a lighter tone, and now I can start going in with just a little bit more kind of denser pigment. And you can see that, like, you know, under here, under this eyebrow, there's quite a lot of kind of shade, so I can start getting in. Now when you start applying the paint on top of this, and we start blocking in with the local color, which will be the kind of skin tones, you'll be really grateful that you did the work to kind of isolate this the lighter and darker areas with paint, because it's going to really help you to kind of to figure out where you're going to be placing your color. You can see like there's a little bit of highlight just on the side of that mouth, and you can see that there. We'll just zoom in on it a little bit. Looking at like this little bit of highlight just here on the side of the mouth that we want to just leave in before going into some of the darker tones under here. Now again, if it's just getting a little bit sticky, a bit resistant, bring a bit more of the matte medium into it. And now starting to be a little bit kind of more attentive to the areas of light and shade, like this kind of little bit on the chin here where you got the cleft chin, but there's a bit of kind of light just to the side of that. And how it's really dark under the chin here. Painting's a lot about making sure that you have the right consistency of paint loaded onto the brush, and that you have the right angle of the brush, and learning to work the paint so that you can kind of spread it out and start getting the paint to do what you want it to do without kind of losing control over it. And you just got to be kind of patient with it, and it's like anything else. You can, once you gain mastery over a medium, like over whatever it is, you can really start to enjoy it and love it. Think back to kind of like any skills that you've developed, whether it's dancing or skateboarding or being able to do a particular move on a video game or whatever. Like once you gain mastery over a skill, then you can really start to enjoy it. And for you guys, it's just learning right now to control the paint. So you can see what we've done is to build up a kind of a monochromatic tonal representation of the paint of the painting. Just indicating the main kind of areas of light and shade. Okay, so I think at that point I'm going to kind of stop there. There's one or two kind of areas I'd probably like to go into a little bit more before I start with the blocking. Okay, so that is your underpainting, your burnt sienna and matte medium underpainting.